Believe it or not, heartbreak doesn't just hurt emotionally. Science shows it can actually cause real physical pain. If you've ever had your heart broken, you already know the feeling. The heavy chest, the sleepless nights, the racing thoughts, and the gut-wrenching pain that makes it hard to eat, think, or even breathe. People often say, "It feels like my heart has been ripped out." And surprisingly, science says they're not exaggerating. Heartbreak is more than just an emotional state. It's a full-body experience. When love ends, your brain and body react as though you've suffered an injury or survived a life-threatening event. From the neurological pathways that register emotional pain as physical pain, to the chemical withdrawals that mimic drug addiction, heartbreak shakes you to your core. Believe it or not, heartbreak doesn't just hurt emotionally. Science shows it can actually cause real physical pain. Today, we'll explore 6 powerful scientific reasons why heartbreak hurts so much. 1. The brain processes emotional pain like physical pain. When you stub your toe, burn your hand, or pull a muscle, your brain registers pain through a network that includes the anterior cingulate cortex, ACC. This area is responsible for processing the unpleasantness of physical pain. But here's where heartbreak becomes fascinating. Brain imaging studies show that the very same neural regions light up when you experience social rejection or heartbreak. In other words, your brain literally cannot distinguish between the pain of losing someone you love and the pain of a physical injury. That's why people say it hurts after a breakup, because neurologically it actually does. A study published in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences used fMRI scans to observe participants who had recently gone through breakups. When they were shown photos of their ex-partners, their brains activated the same areas involved in physical pain. This explains why rejection feels like a punch to the gut. It's not just emotional, it's neurological. This overlap between emotional and physical pain is thought to be evolutionary. Humans are wired for social bonds. For most of human history, being excluded from the group could mean death. That's why social rejection hurts so badly. It was nature's way of ensuring you stayed connected, because connection meant survival. So when your heart breaks, your brain says, "This loss is dangerous. Treat it like an injury." That's why you clutch your chest, feel dizzy, or collapse into tears. Your brain is simply trying to make sense of an injury it perceives as life-threatening. 2. Dopamine and oxytocin withdrawal. Love is often compared to a drug, and science confirms the comparison is spot on. When you fall in love, your brain is flooded with dopamine, the reward neurotransmitter, and oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Together, these chemicals create the warm, euphoric feelings of attachment, intimacy, and pleasure. But when love ends, so does the supply of those chemicals. And just like with drugs, withdrawal sets in. The brain craves the fix it used to get from the presence of the loved one. But now that source is gone. This is why heartbreak can lead to obsessive thoughts, cravings, and even physical symptoms like insomnia and loss of appetite. Studies comparing the brains of the newly heartbroken to those of people withdrawing from cocaine or opioids found striking similarities. Both groups showed hyperactivity in the brain's craving and reward circuits, particularly the nucleus accumbens and the ventral tegmental area. That's why you may find yourself stalking your ex on social media, replaying old memories, or desperately longing for a text. Your brain is essentially screaming for a chemical fix. The cruel irony is that the more intensely you loved, the more painful the withdrawal. The deeper the bond, the stronger the neural wiring, and the harder it is to let go. But here's the good news. Just as drug withdrawal eventually subsides, so too does heartbreak. The brain slowly rewires itself, reducing cravings and healing over time. 3. Stress hormones. Spike. When you're heartbroken, your body doesn't just mourn emotionally, it goes into a full-blown stress response. The breakup acts as a trigger for the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal (HPA) axis, releasing a surge of cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. Cortisol is designed to help in short-term emergencies, but during heartbreak, it floods your system for days or even weeks. The result? Chest tightness, muscle tension, nausea, digestive issues, headaches, and a weakened immune system. This is why some people lose weight dramatically after a breakup. They simply can't eat or digest properly. Others may develop stress-related illnesses such as ulcers, migraines, or skin breakouts. Cortisol also disrupts your sleep, leading to insomnia and exhaustion, which in turn intensifies emotional pain. High levels of cortisol also affect memory and decision-making. That's why you might feel foggy or unable to concentrate at work after heartbreak. Your body is in survival mode, not optimization mode. One heartbreaking irony: prolonged cortisol surges can even cause real heart damage, paving the way for stress-induced cardiomyopathy, which we'll discuss later. This is why heartbreak doesn't just feel dangerous, it can genuinely impact physical health. 4. Nervous system overdrive. Think back to the moment you found out your relationship ended. Did your heart race? Did you feel shaky, sweaty, or unable to catch your breath? That's the sympathetic nervous system kicking in, the fight-or-flight response. Heartbreak throws your body into overdrive because your brain perceives the loss as a threat. Instead of calming down after the initial shock, many people stay trapped in this hyper-aroused state for days. This is why heartbreak can feel like anxiety or even a panic attack. Your heart pounds, your chest aches, your breathing becomes shallow, and your stomach churns. It's not imaginary. Your nervous system is literally pumping adrenaline and noradrenaline into your bloodstream. The problem is that this survival response was designed for physical danger, like running from predators. In the case of heartbreak, there's no predator to fight or escape from. Instead, the body spins in a loop, cycling through anxiety, restlessness, and exhaustion. Long-term nervous system overdrive can weaken your body, making you prone to illness, burnout, and depression. This is one reason many people describe the aftermath of heartbreak as feeling sick or run down. It's not in your head, it's in your nervous system. 5. Risk of broken heart syndrome. Perhaps the most dramatic example of heartbreak's physical power is Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, commonly known as broken heart syndrome. This condition occurs when extreme emotional stress causes the heart's left ventricle to weaken and balloon, mimicking the symptoms of a heart attack. Patients experience chest pain, shortness of breath, and sometimes collapse. EKG readings often look like those of a heart attack, but without blocked arteries. The condition was first described in Japan in the 1990s, and its name comes from a type of octopus trap shaped like the ballooning heart chamber. While most patients recover within weeks, broken heart syndrome can be severe and, in rare cases, fatal. Doctors believe that a sudden flood of stress hormones, especially adrenaline, essentially stuns the heart muscle. The condition is most often seen in older women after the loss of a spouse, child, or loved one, but it can happen to anyone. This syndrome proves that heartbreak is not just poetic language. Emotional trauma can directly damage the heart, leaving real, measurable scars. 6. Loneliness and social pain. Humans are social creatures by design. For our ancestors, being rejected or abandoned by a partner meant vulnerability, less protection, and decreased chances of survival. That's why loneliness feels like danger. It's wired into our biology. Modern neuroscience confirms this. Studies show that social pain activates the same brain pathways as physical pain. Loneliness isn't just uncomfortable, it's biologically coded as a threat. After a breakup, the sudden void of companionship triggers this ancient survival panic. The body interprets separation as abandonment, flooding you with fear and despair. That's why people often describe heartbreak as feeling empty, lost, or incomplete. Long-term loneliness has also been linked to serious health risks. Chronic isolation increases inflammation, weakens immunity, and raises the risk of depression, heart disease, and even premature death. In fact, researchers suggest loneliness is as harmful to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So when you ache with loneliness after heartbreak, it's not weakness. It's evolution reminding you that connection matters. The pain pushes you to seek new bonds, to rebuild your community, and to ensure survival. So why does heartbreak hurt so much? Because love isn't just an emotion, it's a biological necessity. When you lose it, your brain and body react as if you've lost your lifeline. Emotional pain overlaps with physical pain. Dopamine and oxytocin withdrawal mimic drug addiction. Cortisol wreaks havoc on your body. Your nervous system spins into overdrive. Your heart can physically weaken, and loneliness taps into primal survival fears. Heartbreak hurts because it matters. It's evolution's way of telling us that bonds are vital, that connection is survival, and that love, despite its risks, is worth the pain. The silver lining is this: just as physical injuries heal, so too does heartbreak. The brain rewires itself, stress hormones stabilize, and the body finds balance again. With time, support, and self-care, the unbearable becomes bearable, and the wounds of the heart eventually turn into scars of wisdom. Heartbreak is proof that you loved deeply, and while it may feel like the end, science shows it's really the beginning of healing, growth, and the possibility of love even stronger than before. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights, encouragement, and stories of love, loss, and growth, because your best days are still ahead of you.